Welcome to day 2 of the Unhurried Soul devotional that we're doing together this week. I love what Jesus said in John chapter 14. I'm leaving you with a gift, peace of mind and heart. This peace I give you is a gift the world cannot give. So don't be troubled or afraid. You know, the world has given us some grief this year, hasn't it? Some frustration, some anxiety, some uncertainty. And yesterday we talked about the unforced rhythms of God's grace, and we looked at how Jesus refueled his soul through prayer, spending time with friends, getting out into nature. And today I want to ask you, what connects you to God's grace, his energy, his joy? What inspires you? Do more of those things. What drains you or depletes you? Do less of those things. Just give yourself permission. I think an essential aspect of doing more of what inspires us is that we sometimes have to change our perspective regarding the times we're living in, the space that we do have for inspiration. Sometimes we don't need to get away out of our situation to be refueled, because if that's the only way we can be refreshed, then it's a bit problematic, isn't it? I mean, we have to work, and we have responsibilities, and we have kids, and so finding soul replenishing moments in the middle of the mundane. It's searching for the sacred rejuvenation that we desire in the middle of the dreary. Sometimes someone on my team, they called it microspaces, finding soul replenishment while nursing or putting their sons to bed. So today I want you to take a moment, and I want you to make a list of people, places, activities that have the potential of connecting you to God's grace, energy, and life. Moments in your day where you can slow down and take a deep breath. And so even today, make a list of the people, the places, the activities that both connect you and disconnect you from God's grace, energy, and life. Give yourself permission to do more with those who and those things that give you life, and less with those that drain you. This will probably require some thoughtfulness, some creativity, some discernment, some discipline, but you probably already know what depletes you and what restores you. The hard part is saying yes to the good and no to the not so good. As we think about Jesus, he set limitations or boundaries on how much time he would teach, how much time he gave to interacting with the religiously self-righteous people in his life. He set limits on the use of his healing power. And as busy as he was, and the demands that he faced to teach, to heal, to develop leaders, he still took time to refill his soul. You know, for several years in a row, I would visit our missionaries in Uganda, Brent and Virginia Earwicker. They do ministry now in Uganda from here in Bend. But Brent and I traveled many miles across Lake Victoria on a number of occasions to minister to pastors on the remote islands of the lake. And I remember being on one of those trips with a team from Westside, actually. And I remember a couple that were on the team, Jenna and Trey Anderson. And I can't remember if they were married by then or not. They probably were. Anyways, I just remember them because they were sitting right next to me on the boat during what can only be described as high seas. It was pouring down rain. The water was coming into the boat. The waves were really high. We were soaked. And I remember Jenna just laughing, like uncontrollably laughing. She had this parka on that covered almost her entire face, but you could see her eyes, her nose, her mouth. And she was just enjoying herself. There was absolutely no peace in the storm. It was roaring around us. But this little lady had such peace, rest, and joy. And as you think about what refreshes you and what depletes you today, would you have that image of Jenna in your mind? Just like, God, help me to have that kind of peace, that kind of joy, that kind of rest, even in the middle of a storm. Because we need that. We need to know that, God, you are with us, and we don't have to be afraid. We don't have to worry. We don't have to try and figure everything out on our own. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, refreshing, life-giving day today. Love you all.